हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू द बायोनेक्सस, जहां कंसेप्ट्स होते हैं क्रिस्टल क्लियर और नीट के लिए होती है सॉलिड तैयारी। आज हम लेके आए हैं ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन लेवल 2, जिसमें हर क्वेश्चन नीट पैटर्न पर बेस्ड है, ट्रिकी, कंसेप्ट बिल्डिंग और टाइम मैनेजिंग भी। ये क्वेश्चंस आपके एनसीईआरटी के एक एक लाइन को टारगेट करते हैं, साथ ही डायग्राम्स, फ्लो चार्ट्स, assertion reason और प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस भी कवर करते हैं। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, ड्यूरिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ fertilization in humans, the sperm binds to a specific glycoprotein layer surrounding the secondary oocyte. Which of the following accurately describes the sequence of events that follow this binding, ultimately ensuring only one sperm fertilizes the ovum? So we will just go through all the options, and the right answer here is option A, acrosomal reaction followed by sperm entry, then zona reaction. Acrosomal enzymes digest the zona pellucida, allowing sperm entry. Once the sperm enters, zona reaction prevents polyspermy. That is, only one sperm fertilizes the ovum. Identify the hormone that ensures maintenance of endometrium for implantation and sustains pregnancy until the placenta takes over. Also plays a key role in suppressing further ovulation during gestation. So it is progesterone. Progesterone supports endometrium and inhibits further LH or FSH secretion, thereby preventing ovulation during pregnancy. Which of the following best describes the fate of primary spermatocytes during spermatogenesis? Right answer is option B. They undergo meiosis 1 to form two secondary spermatocytes. So the primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 1, forming two secondary spermatocytes. Then meiosis 2 happens, leading to formation of 4 spermatids. In the male reproductive system, the accessory glands produce secretions that contribute to seminal plasma. Which of the following glands and their functions is correctly matched? So we know the accessory reproductive glands in male, they are seminal vesicles, prostate gland and bulbourethral or Cowper's gland. So Cowper's and bulbourethral glands are the same. These are the two synonyms. So in this one, the answer will be option A. Seminal vesicle secretes alkaline mucus and prostaglandins. Other than this, they also produce fructose. The bulbourethral gland, they produce mucus, not testosterone. Which of the following describes the correct functional role of Sertoli cells in human males? So Sertoli cells are for providing nourishment, and also they form the blood-testis barrier. Leydig cells secrete testosterone. Which of the following scenarios would most likely occur if LH levels fail to rise mid-cycle in a normally menstruating female? So here answer will be option D, no ovulation and no corpus luteum formation. LH surge is essential for ovulation and corpus luteum formation. Without it, neither of these events occur. The correct chronological order in which the sperm travels through the male reproductive tract is. Right answer is option A, seminiferous tubules, then epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, and urethra. So urethra is the common outlet for passage of urine as well as semen in case of males. In human females, which of the following hormones remains persistently high in the blood if fertilization and implantation occurs successfully. So that will be definitely progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone maintains pregnancy, estrogen continues rising, FSH and LH are suppressed due to negative feedback mechanism. Question 9. A woman is found to have a blockage in the ambulatory isthmic junction of her fallopian tube. So you all know ambulatory isthmic junction is the site for fertilization in human beings. Which reproductive event is most likely to be affected? So obviously the right answer will be option B, that is fertilization. The inner cell mass of a blastocyst observed at about the 5th day of development post-fertilization is responsible for. It is forming the embryo. So the inner cell mass becomes the embryo and trophoblast, that is the outer layer, that forms the placenta and chorion. Now we will move to some assertion-reason type questions. The zona pellucida plays a critical role in species-specific sperm recognition during fertilization. Reason: it contains receptors that allow penetration of any mammalian sperm. So here the right answer is option C, assertion is true and reason is false. Because zona pellucida has got species-specific receptors. It does not accept any sperm. It is given in the question like allow penetration of any mammalian sperm. So that is false. Right answer will be option C. High progesterone levels post-ovulation maintain the uterine lining for possible implantation. Reason: progesterone inhibits endometrial proliferation. Both the statements are true, but reason is not the correct explanation. So it will be option B. We will go to the first statement. It's about maintenance of uterine lining and making it suitable for implantation. And the statement 2 talks about inhibiting further proliferation, which is part of the hormonal shift, but it is not directly linked with maintenance function. So the answer becomes B. Question 13. In humans, the oocyte completes its second meiotic division only after sperm entry. Reason: this mechanism ensures that only fertilized oocytes become diploid zygotes. The assertion and reason both are true, and reason is the correct explanation, so it will be option A here. 14. Sperm undergo capacitation in the epididymis. Is it a true statement? I don't think so. Reason: capacitation enables the sperm to penetrate the zona pellucida. Okay, that is true. So here, capacitation, where does it occur? It occurs after ejaculation in the female reproductive tract, mainly in the uterus and fallopian tube. So that makes the statement incorrect. So the right answer here will be option D, that is assertion is false and reason is true. Next question. Parturition is a complex process regulated by neuroendocrine mechanisms. Reason: oxytocin causes uterine contraction and is released due to cervical stretching. So both the statements are true and reason is the correct explanation. So it will be definitely option A. Now we are moving to some of the previous year NEET questions. So this was in NEET 2021, this question appeared. In a normal pregnant woman, the level of estrogens and progesterone would definitely increase. During pregnancy, both estrogen and progesterone levels increase continuously. These hormones are initially secreted by corpus luteum and later maintained by the placenta. Progesterone maintains the uterine lining for implantation and prevents uterine contractions, whereas estrogen promotes growth of the uterus and mammary glands. Question 17. The male accessory glands include all except. Right answer is option D, Bartholin's glands. Bartholin's glands are female glands located near the vaginal opening and help in lubrication during intercourse. Question 18. Menstrual flow results due to fall in progesterone. This is the right answer. Menstrual flow occurs when there is a sharp decline in progesterone and estrogen levels due to the degeneration of corpus luteum if fertilization does not occur. Implantation occurs. This is one of the frequently repeated questions. Right answer is option B, 5 to 7 days after fertilization. The correct pathway of sperm ejaculation is, that is, testis, epididymis, vas deferens, urethra. What is testis? Testis is where sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubules. And in epididymis, sperm matures and it is stored there. Vas deferens transports the sperm from epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. Urethra, sperm exits the body through the urethra during ejaculation. Now we will move to some match the following questions. Read both the columns. Column 1, acrosome, Sertoli cells, Leydig cells, Graafian follicle. Column 2, secretes androgen binding protein, contains hydrolytic enzymes, testosterone secretion, secondary oocyte and andrum. So here the right answer is option A. That is acrosome, hydrolytic enzymes. That is for zona pellucida digestion. And Sertoli cells secretes androgen binding protein. Leydig cells, they are for testosterone secretion. Graafian follicle, secondary oocyte and andrum. In a histological section of a human ovary, so this is a histological section of human ovary which is shown here, a large structure with a central fluid-filled cavity is seen surrounded by granulosa cells. Identify the structure and its stage. So this is the large structure with a central fluid-filled cavity which is known as andrum. So this is the andrum cavity and these are the surrounding cells. It's the granulosa cells. So what is this structure? This is the Graafian follicle. So here the right answer is Graafian follicle just before ovulation. And what are these? These are corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone. And this one is the secondary oocyte. During the human menstrual cycle, what sequence of hormonal changes and feedback loops initiates the luteal phase? So here what happens is rise in estrogen causes LH surge, then followed by ovulation, corpus luteum formation and progesterone rise. This is the right answer, option A. Fertilization in humans usually takes place in the isthmus of fallopian tube. Reason: the isthmus is wider and provides the best environment for fusion of gametes. So in this question, both assertion and reason are false. The right answer will be D. Fertilization occurs in the ampullary isthmic junction of fallopian tube. And ampulla is the widest and most dilated part. Isthmus is a narrow portion. So both A and R are false. Arrange the following stages of spermatogenesis in correct order. Spermatid, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatogonia. Yeah, this is one simple question. So here what happens? What is the right order in this flowchart? It will be option B. that is spermatogonia, then primary spermatocyte, followed by secondary spermatocyte, last forming the spermatid. Which hormone is secreted in higher concentration during the secretory phase of the menstrual cycle and is primarily responsible for endometrial vascularization? Option C, progesterone. Progesterone dominates the secretory phase, supporting endometrial maintenance and vascularization. Match the following hormones and their sources. HCG. HCG we can match directly with placenta. Then oxytocin. Oxytocin is from posterior pituitary. Relaxin. Relaxin, corpus luteum, testosterone, Leydig cells. So the right answer will be option A. So HCG is secreted by placenta, which maintains the corpus luteum. Question 28. In the diagram of the male reproductive system, a blockage in the vas deferens would likely result in infertility despite normal semen volume. So sperm cannot travel from epididymis to urethra, but fluid from seminal vesicles and prostate still continues to the semen volume. So the right answer will be option B. Placenta acts as both a respiratory and endocrine organ. It produces prostaglandins and mediates fetal gas exchange through maternal blood. That is right. Both the statements are true and reason is the correct explanation for assertion. So, right answer here is option A. Which of the following accurately explains the reason why the endometrial lining is shed during menstruation? It will be regression of corpus luteum leading to progesterone fall. So without fertilization, corpus luteum regresses. There will be secretion and there will be reduced secretion of progesterone and further leading to endometrial shedding. Arrange the following events in order after successful fertilization. It will be option A, yes. Formation of zygote followed by secretion of HCG, corpus luteum maintenance, and then comes implantation. Which part of a human sperm cell contains the centriole and initiates spindle formation during the first mitotic division of the zygote? That is neck. The neck region contains centriole, which contributes to zygote's spindle formation. Match the following menstrual cycle events. Here we have given a chart as well. So this is ovulation. When does ovulation occur? Ovulation occurs during day 14. So it will match with this one. Menstruation starts. Menstruation starts. That is day 1. Peak estrogen. That will be day 12 to 13. Progesterone surge. Day 15 to 22. So the right answer will be option A. Spermatogenesis continues throughout the adult male life without depletion of spermatogonia. Reason: spermatogonia undergo both mitosis and meiosis. Here both the statements are true and R is the correct explanation. Question 35. A male with non-functional Leydig cells would exhibit all of the following except. Go through the options correctly. First one is low testosterone levels, then poor development of secondary sex characters, reduced libido, impaired spermatic maturation within Sertoli cells. So the right answer will be impaired spermatid maturation within Sertoli cells. The Sertoli cells handle spermatid maturation. Leydig cells do not control this directly. So if the Leydig cells are non-functional, this will not be affected. The endometrial lining during the proliferative phase of menstrual cycle is characterized by mucosal thickening under estrogen influence. So the proliferative phase of menstrual cycle occurs after menstruation and before ovulation, typically from day 6 to 14 of a 28-day cycle. This phase is under the influence of estrogen, which is secreted by developing ovarian follicles. Estrogen stimulates what all? Regeneration and thickening of the endometrial lining, growth of uterine glands, and proliferation of stromal cells. So here the right answer is option B, mucosal thickening under estrogen influence. Arrange the following events during oogenesis. So let's go through all the options. And the right answer here will be option A. Primary oocyte formed before birth, arrest at prophase 1, completion of meiosis 1 during ovulation, secondary oocyte formation. And one more thing, in this options, I would like to explain something more, like edema and vascularization due to progesterone. This happens in the secretory phase, not proliferative phase. And shedding under low LH influence, shedding or menstruation that occurs due to drop in estrogen and progesterone, not LH directly, and it happens before proliferative phase. The luteinization, that is conversion of follicle into corpus luteum, is triggered by LH surge, not FSH. So thus we can rule out all the other options, and here the answer will be option B. Match the following sperm transport path. I think we came across one similar type of question earlier itself. So here epididymis, sperm storage and maturation, vas deferens, transport sperm to ejaculatory duct, urethra, common passage for urine and semen, seminal vesicle, secretes fructose-rich fluid. Okay. Option A. Ovulation is caused by a sudden surge in LH. FSH triggers release of oocyte from Graafian follicle. Ovulation is caused by a sudden surge in LH. Yeah, that is right. But FSH triggers release of oocyte from Graafian follicle. I cannot agree with this statement. FSH helps in follicular development and also maturation of ovarian follicles. But the release of the oocyte, that is ovulation, that is triggered by LH surge, not FSH. So assertion is true and reason is false. The right answer is option C. Which hormone's withdrawal is most directly responsible for menstruation in a non-pregnant female? That is withdrawal. Which hormone's withdrawal? That is progesterone. Which of the following statements regarding HCG is correct in the context of early pregnancy? Right answer here is option B. HCG prevents corpus luteum degeneration and is detected in pregnancy test. So HCG is secreted by trophoblast of the blastocyst. It maintains corpus luteum, essential for early pregnancy support. 42. Parturition is initiated by a complex hormonal interplay involving fetal signals. Cortisol reason. Cortisol released from the fetal adrenal gland triggers estrogen and prostaglandin release from placenta. So both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation. The fetal adrenal releases cortisol, which acts on placenta leading to increased estrogen and prostaglandins and forming uterine contractions. Following ovulation, several hormonal and structural events occur in a sequential manner. Identify the correct sequence. So first there will be luteinization of follicular cells. That means it will be either option B or option C. Then after luteinization there will be formation of corpus luteum. So we have reached the right answer, that is B. Followed by progesterone secretion, then endometrial secretory transformation. Which one of the following events is correctly matched with its timing in a normal human menstrual cycle? So that was a previous NEET question in 2017. So it is a release of the egg on day 5, endometrial regeneration, day 5 to 10, rise in progesterone immediately after menstruation, LH surge at the end of the cycle. So the right answer here will be option B, that is endometrial regeneration, which occurs at day 5 to 10. Match the following hormonal roles. FSH. FSH will match with stimulates follicle development in ovary. LH, ovulation, induction and luteinization. Progesterone prepares endometrium for implantation. Oxytocin, uterine contractions during labor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Option A. Which of the following combinations correctly describes the physiological significance of parts of a mature sperm? So this is the diagram of a human sperm. So we can see the head, which contains acrosome, and the nucleus, which contains the chromosomal material. Then the neck, where the centriole is there, midpiece or mitochondria, and which is essential for the energy, and the tail, which is for motility. So the answer here is option C, neck centriole, midpiece mitochondria, and head nucleus. Question number 47. In a clinical case, an ultrasound reveals that the fertilized egg has implanted in the lower segment of the uterus, partially covering the cervical opening. The patient later reports painless vaginal bleeding during the 3rd trimester. What is the most likely diagnosis? Here the right answer will be placenta previa. So in this diagram we can see placenta is covering the portion near to the cervical opening. So it is quite dangerous during pregnancy. There is chances of abortion as well, or else premature birth can happen because the placenta, which provides nourishment to the baby, it is almost very close to the cervical pathway. And during delivery also this is becoming a complication that can be further lead to C-sections. Assertion, inhibin secreted by Sertoli cells regulates spermatogenesis. Reason, inhibin inhibits secretion of FSH from the anterior pituitary. So the right answer here will be option A. Inhibin selectively suppresses FSH, controlling spermatogenesis feedback loop. 49. A 35-year-old woman is undergoing fertility treatment. A drug is administered that mimics the LH surge to induce ovulation. What is the most appropriate time to administer this drug? And that will be when FSH and estrogen peak. Option B. Estrogen peak precedes LH surge, triggers ovulation. So, drug mimicking LH should be given when estrogen is high. Last question of this series is, which one of the following sets includes only male accessory glands? So it is the option A, seminal vesicles, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland, also known as Cowper's gland. So now we have moved to the end of this Human Reproduction Level 2 series. अब आपकी बारी है. In these 15 MCQs में कितना सही हुई आपका? अगर 40 से ऊपर आए हैं तो ग्रेट गोइंग, और अगर कम आए तो टेंशन नहीं, वीडियो दोबारा देखो और कंसेप्ट्स को पढ़. MCQs सिर्फ टेस्ट नहीं करते, बल्कि कंसेप्ट रिवाइज करने का सबसे इफेक्टिव तरीका है. सो रीवॉच करो, पोस्ट करके सोचो और मिस्टेक्स को मास्टर करो. नेक्स्ट कौन सा चैप्टर का क्वेश्चंस चाहिए, कमेंट करके बताइएगा. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए गुड बाय. अगर वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगा तो लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग.